We are now happy to be joined by Anthony Del Tufo. Anthony, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming on.
Nothing much. Pretty excited to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course, dude. So you're a goalie at SUNY Plattsburgh, and you also started something called Grizzled Hockey. You're the co-owner of that. So we're gonna kind of get into a little interview and just talk a little bit about that. But kind of just starting a little bit about you. So with hockey for you, you started playing with the Philadelphia Revolution of the EHL Eastern Hockey League 2019. And, I was reading a little bit about that. And, it said it seemed like they're huge with like D2 and D3 placements for kids and like helping kids get involved with college hockey. Tell me a little bit about that experience and what that entailed.
So I played with the Rev my second year of juniors, right out of high school. Obviously, like any kid's goal is to play tier two or tier one, whether it's the USHL or the North American Hockey League. I unfortunately didn't get the bounces that I thought I could have had, and I ended up in the EHL, which is tier three. And I played for Team Maryland, which was an expansion team in the EHL, and I played there for about um, roughly 3.5 months, and it was really cool. It was pretty cool to move away from home. Um, Before college, I thought it was pretty unique experience to be down in Maryland, away from everyone, like kind of figuring myself out about hockey, just about who I was as a person. I
I like
love my
that.
bill. Yeah, I loved my billets I had in Maryland. They had two little kids, Chase and Bryce, 11 and 6. They're awesome. I still stay in touch with my billets. They actually send me Christmas presents every year. I send them back. Like
Oh,
it's
that's
really
awesome.
cool.
That's so
Yeah,
nice.
it's yeah, like stuff like that. I really was appreciative of, and so I played for Team Maryland until November. I was up and down with the North American team, the Maryland Black Bears, who are also an expansion team in that league. And they had a goalie get hurt in a morning skate. I actually had just finished my EHL practice, and I was on my way home at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I get a call from the coach. He was like, "What do you like? Where are you right now?" And I was like, I'm on my way home. We just got done with our EHL skate." He's like, "Be back at the rink by 5. You're dressing tonight." And I
Wow.
was just totally taken by surprise. Called my billets, uh, and I said, "Hey, like, I don't know. I know you guys go to the games. I'm just letting you know, like, I'm dressing. So if you guys can make it out, I would love that."
That's awesome.
So yeah, so I got called up for that game. Uh, got sent back down, didn't play, then got called up as an emergency starter because both the goalies went down with concussions. Um, about 3 weeks later, and played a game, played well. We ended up losing, but the coach, gave me some good feedback, and then I stuck with that. Uh, Played the next weekend. We swept the Northeast Generals, which was pretty cool. Really skilled team. I actually have a teammate at Plattsburgh now that I played against that weekend, which is pretty cool. It shows how small the hockey world is.
Yeah.
And stuck there for the year, and then I tried to stay in the NA. Unfortunately, I just couldn't make being an age out goalie is tough, especially in the NA, unless you're a very well established player. And I had only played 15 games, so signed with the Philadelphia Revolution the night before training camp. Actually, night before training
Wow.
camp.
Look at that.
Yeah, I was talking to their coach, and I said, "Hey," I was pretty honest with them. I said, "I'm going to try to go play tier two in the North American League again. Um, so if that doesn't work out, I will 100% sign with you." I signed with them, and I lived in an apartment there, which was pretty cool. It's a little
Nice.
different. I think that first year of having a billet was nice because of they helped cook. It was just more of like a transition from going from living with my family in high school to moving away, living with a billet family, and then going to the apartment.
Right.
So it was pretty cool to live in an apartment. I still talk to all my roommates, and actually, our team group chat from that year still talks pretty frequently just to see
Oh,
how
that's
guys are
awesome.
doing.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, and I'm very close with my two coaches there. I obviously committed from the Revolution, which I'm very, very appreciative and just grateful for that they were able to help me get that commitment. But I would say my overall experience was it was definitely like a grind, and I'm sure you hear that with every player or every athlete, but it's junior hockey's different. It really tests you because you see all your buddies committing to schools, and I was very late. I committed in May,
Hmm.
and I obviously went to school in August, so not a lot of room, quick turnaround to go to
Yeah. Yeah.
school. So getting pretty anxious just seeing everything and not really hearing anything from schools. And um, it was just really cool being able to travel around. Those bus rides I'll never forget. Going to
Yeah.
going to tournaments or showcases, and just like my one EHL coach, John Roger, coached in the USHL with John Cooper, who's the Tampa Bay Lightning coach.
Right.
So he's got some pretty good knowledge about the game, and I love this quote that he said, and it's been around a lot, met a lot of people, and I think that really has been like a that kind of summarizes like junior hockey. Like we've been all over the place. Like I played in Philly, I played in Maryland, I tried out for teams in Alaska, Wisconsin, Texas.
Wow.
So I could have ended up anywhere really in the country. So I really am grateful for it. Obviously, being a goalie, they don't. I'm sure Max knows too. Um, like looking at juniors, they don't really want you until you're 20, unless you're committed at 15, which I wasn't.
Hmm.
So taking that extra year really, I think, set me up for hopefully a successful college hockey career. As I haven't played a single game yet, because our season was canceled, sadly.
Because of
But
COVID,
yeah,
yeah. So kind of
yeah.
moving on to that, like you're at SUNY Plattsburgh now. So yeah, you just said you haven't played yet, but like with the team and everything, how's that experience been for you so far? Been good?
Being out of school for a while was interesting. I wrote my first paper in 3 years in February of this year, so I had to
Yeah.
get some of the rust off.
We were talking to another guy not too long ago, and he was saying, yeah, you know David Heimovich.
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking to David Heimovich, who's he's doing the USHL right now. He's like, I haven't done school in 2 years. He's like, it's crazy how that works after high school. How like a lot of players don't like keep doing school, and it's like just a big gap, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Like I worked full time both years of juniors. I wanted to take classes, but one of the schools I was talking to recommended I didn't, just for like scholarship and aid purposes. So I just
Yeah.
decided to hold off and work and focus on hockey. But coming to school, my team's awesome. We're all really close, especially this year of COVID. I don't want to say it forced us to get close, but we were just obviously there wasn't really much to do, so we were always around each other, and we're like I really got to know every guy on my team, not just a few. So um, I'm really excited. My freshman class is a pretty big size. We're about 9 or 10.
Yeah.
The sophomore class is 11, so we're a very underclassmen team right now. But I think our underclassmen are going to play a big role in our success in the next few years, and I'm excited. I'm very excited to be a part of it. It was a very cool experience to commit to a school like Plattsburgh.
That's awesome, dude. I go to a fellow SUNY, Buffalo, so I know the SUNY life, you know.
Really
Yeah. But
nice.
so I wanted to ask, so you started something called Grizzled Hockey with your goalie partner Anthony Schrum. You know, so you guys announced that April 2020. Tell me a little bit about Grizzled Hockey and that whole thing, because that's a big project that you're a part of.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Him and I were goalie partners at the Philadelphia Revolution, and him and I got very close as we were both like age outs. Kind of, we realized we obviously were going to compete against each other, but we also knew that if we're you know trying to be trying to fight for the net all the time, it's just going to create friction, and it's just not a good environment. So we kind of realized that we were going to work through it, and they ended up getting really close. And we were joking around about starting a company at the end of the year, and then once COVID hit, he actually called me and said, "Hey, like I'm releasing a shirt. Let me know what you think. Like, I'd appreciate if you bought one." It was a goalie shirt. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was goalie themed, and I bought one, and I was like, you know what, like I think this is a pretty good idea. And he said he was already thinking about starting a little clothing brand, and we just kind of from there just went for it and said, you know what, we're gonna have fun with this. And you know, it's been an awesome experience so far. We partnered with the EHL actually,
Oh,
um,
nice.
which was really cool. Our Neil Ravin, who's believe he's the assistant, our like assistant commissioner, really gave us a cool opportunity as alumni, and really embraced us and all that. So it was really cool to have the league that we literally just got our college commitments from to allow us to come back into the community and try to help a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So tell me, so you guys are like, it's like hockey, lifestyle, clothing, that type of thing. What does it mean to be a grizzled hockey player? Like, tell
We
me
were
what that
actually
means.
we were actually talking about that today. I was driving home from work, and he was driving to the rink, and we were actually talking about that today. Um, I personally think a grizzled person is just someone who's been around. Like if you look at them, you could just tell like they've seen like not it's not necessarily a bad thing, but they've like seen a lot and they exemplify like a good, strong person. Like you could tell that they're a leader. Like they give that leadership like vibe or that leadership like
Yeah.
those leadership qualities. Like,
Yeah.
they're a person of integrity, they're tough. Like for hockey, you see guys blocking shots with their skates, they're blocking shots with their face every once in a while.
It's like
You know,
that grinder
yeah,
mentality, you know?
yeah, it's that like the only way you're gonna beat me is if you kill me.
Yeah, dude, that's
So
crazy. I like that. I like that for sure.
yeah.
So, kind of the vision with Grizzled that you guys have, where do you see yourselves going with it? What's the big picture with Grizzled hockey for you guys?
So we've been talking about this a little bit. We're not 100% sure because there's a lot of avenues that we could take, but we our goal is to not be like spitting chicklets or gong show or anything like that, but our goal is to just create hockey based shirts that, the community would enjoy. And, if you see a kid around the rink with it, you look at him and you're like, oh man, like that's a cool shirt. Like I
Right.
want one of those, something, just some fun stuff because, everything, especially in college, I'm sure, like everything's very serious now. And it's just nice to be able to have fun with it, especially hockey, because it's given both of us so much. We just wanted to just do something, kind of give back.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy because that was the next question I was going to ask you, which is like, what has hockey done in your life? For you, like, tell me a little about like what draws you to this game, for so long. How has it impacted you? It seems like, you started the brand and, you're still playing, you traveled in juniors, like that's a grind. That shit's a grind. So like, what has it done for you? Like, what is it for you? That's kind of what I
Um,
want to find out.
I mean, I don't know if I could put it into words because I really am passionate about hockey, but I've met people that I am so grateful that I've met. I've made memories with countless teammates, coaches, just like even just by myself, just being on the ice alone. Um, it's just it's brought me down a path that I could not be more grateful for, and it's made me met people like Max. I have a funny story about him that I could tell later. I'm
I
sure
would
he
I
knows.
would love that.
I'm sure he knows exactly what story I'm talking about. But it's meant like stuff like that. Like I could not see a guy for 4 years, and I'll bump into him, and we'll just get talking about when we played together or guys that we know. If you know hockey players, the first thing that they'll say when they meet each other is, "Hey, do you know that guy from this team?"
Mm,
Immediately,
mm.
because it's such a small community.
So for you, it's about the people, the more than
Yeah,
just like the sport itself. But the sport draws you to the relationships with the people, and that's what you love.
yeah, and just compete, being able to having the opportunity to just compete every day. Going to like especially going to Plattsburgh, like we get a pretty good drawing from the community, not just the students, which I
Mm,
think is pretty special.
yeah.
It's more like a junior feel, which is I love, and like walking around town, even though I have never played a game yet, we practiced for about 5 or 6 weeks. People still recognize me as a Plattsburgh State hockey player, and it's we have that extra responsibility, but I also have people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, like you're the freshman goalie, or you're like, you're the kid from New Jersey. Like, I can't wait to watch you guys play." Like that means a lot to me.
Sure. Absolutely. And by the way, Max over there in the peanut gallery said he does know the story that you're
Oh,
going to
I'm sure
tell.
he does. Yeah.
But before we get into that quick story, like one of the last things I wanted to ask you. So you were talking a little bit about your partnership with the EHL, and I that's really cool. So like, is there any other leagues that you're trying to collaborate with, or right now you're focused on that partnership?
We definitely are trying to expand you know, our our grab on the hockey world. The EHL obviously was huge. Me playing in the NA, I've talked to my old junior team, trying to maybe facilitate something there in the future. You know, it's small steps because this is a newer business. We've been around for just over a year, so we still got some of those things to work
And
out.
in just a year, you guys are creating a decent following for yourselves over on Instagram. I saw, that's something to be proud of for sure.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We're really trying to make this something fun for all ages. So, you know, if you're a men's league player, you can relate, or if you're a squirt that's learning just how to skate and stick
Yeah,
handle and
dude.
all that stuff, it's supposed to be everyone.
Yeah, I like that. So let me hear this Max Lindley hockey story because he doesn't tell me anything. So
Well, first of all, my dad has requested who coached Max the year they won the state championship. He has requested me to say that Max was his favorite player that he's coached.
wow, that's huge. He's coming
Yeah,
over. He likes that. He's coming over if
I'm
he's
sure he
I'm
does.
absolutely honored.
Yeah, he.
Absolutely honored by Big Frank the Tank.
I told him that I was coming on here, and he was like, "Oh, well, make sure you mention to Max that he's my favorite." I'm like, "Okay, all right, all right."
settle down there.
Yeah, I was like, "All right,"
He was the
but
best though.
oh, he still loves it. He wears his ring every once in a while just to get under my skin. He's like, "Yeah, you don't have one of these."
Oh,
I love it. I
But
love it.
so the story
all
with
right.
Max was
Onwards with you, Max.
we had an empty slot in Glenrock did, and my travel coach was their head coach Anthony Yelovich, and my dad was the assistant with him, and also our goalie coach, Max and I's goalie coach, was the other assistant coach there. So I
Is
knew
that
the
is that
entire.
Is that Zane?
Yes,
I know
yes. Oh,
Zane. Zane's a great
everyone knows Zane.
great guy
Yeah, he's an
because
awesome
he
guy.
he was he was a TA at our high school, so like everybody knew Zane. It was yeah,
That's
he's a
awesome.
good guy.
Yeah, he's like he's a player coach. Like he's very good to relate to. Like I relate to him when we're skating. Like we'll just talk about life, not just hockey.
Yeah.
And so we have this slot open, and our coach Yelovich, he texted me one night. He's like, "Hey, you guys have like this date open?" And I said, "Yeah, I think so." He's like, "Oh well, we have a like I heard you guys have a slot." And I said, "Yeah, I think we do." And I'm like, "Call my coach, schedule a game." So the game gets scheduled. So I know this entire coaching staff. My dad's on it, and I've him and I go back and forth all the time about Mo Beard was better, Glenrock was better, this and that, and
Yeah.
so we're playing, and the first period ends, and like Zane and Max are saying stuff to me. I don't really remember what it was, but they were saying stuff, and then the second period comes around, and I go to their end, and I just look over at their bench, and my dad was on the bench. He was just watching from the stands, but he came down for the third period. But Zane and Max are screaming at me from the other end, or
So,
from their
some
end.
some good old chirps.
Yeah. Oh my God, they were ripping me, and I just I'm like I do a little figure eight in between whistles just to keep myself busy, and I like skate over, and I'm just like I can still hear them. Like it had to be 4 minutes into the period. They're still going. Just about everything and anything they could possibly say. And I
That's
just,
unreal.
oh man, and I've seen Max get under some goalie skin pretty good, and I just was kind of chuckling, like just laughing in the net, like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah,
And
dude, that's crazy.
but yeah, Max would just not stop. He was nonstop the whole game.
Kid's
But he was a
relentless.
good sport about it though.
All
I
right.
think he was,
At
but
least you can give him that.
no, he was a good sport. But yeah, I'll never forget that he was just running his mouth the whole game with us. And
Damn.
it gave me it made it fun. Like that was a serious game, obviously, because I wanted to beat Glenrock because my dad was coaching. But
Yeah,
also,
that shit's personal.
it got real personal. It got on Twitter. It was
Wow.
yeah, it was the battle of the Del Tufos in high school hockey.
Damn. That's a legacy though that it'll live on in New Jersey hockey for years to come.
Yeah,
Your children's children will talk about that one.
yeah. I hope. But
Yeah.
I'm not. I'll say this personally. I've never seen a player in high school hockey, actually in hockey in general, that's able to get under kids' skins as well as Max did. That
That's
Middletown North game
crazy.
was they played Middletown North in states, and I was at the game just watching and supporting them. And Max got the Middletown North goalie in the middle of the game to skate over to their bench and chirp him back in the middle of the play because he was ripping him so badly from the bench. It was unbelievable. I've never seen that in all of my years of playing hockey.
It's funny because that's like the old Max that I remember, but the Max these days I feel like is like way more like reserved than he used to be like out on the rink.
Interesting.
That's my 2 cents at least.
And I'll keep that in mind if we ever skate together again. But he definitely was someone that if you played against him, you remember that goalie for
You
sure.
remember that red hair?
Oh, that flow coming out of the net.
The flow's no longer, but
I know. I'm a bit disappointed. That was
I
kind of his
agree.
trademark.
I was a fan of it, you know?
It's all right. Maybe. Hey, it's summer. Now's the time.
True that. All right, Anthony, listen, it was great talking to you. Great having you on. I really appreciate the time, man. Best
Well,
of luck
thank
to
you.
you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
We are back.
We are back. Welcome back from that fantastic interview with Anthony Del Tufo. Shout out Frank Del Tufo, my former hockey coach, Anthony's dad. And shout out Anthony for coming on the podcast. A bunch of great people.
Yeah, great guy. I actually really enjoyed getting to talk with him.
You learned a lot from him, too.
He was fun.
I remember last week you were saying I learned a lot about hockey from David. And I feel like you learned a lot from Anthony, too.
Yeah, 100%. That kid's going to do something. He's business savvy. He's all over the place. I like Anthony Del Tufo.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Good guy.
Thanks for coming on again.
Absolutely. Check out Grizzled Hockey. We'll leave it linked below.
Oh, yeah. It's a cool thing he's got going there.
Yeah, very cool apparel.
Hey, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the rest of our channel and subscribe. Make sure to follow our Instagram and maybe consider subscribing on Patreon for our bonus content. You can only find it there. I promise it will be well worth it. Thanks.